Yeah, it's good stuff.
Welcome to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen July 5th, 2016 regular meeting. I call this meeting to order. We have a quorum. The prayer is by Vice Mayor Green, the Pledge of Allegiance with Alderman Jones. Please stand.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful day that you've given us, and we thank you so much with all the bad weather last night that no one was hurt that we know of. And Lord, you take such good care of us, and we thank you so much for that. We thank you for this city. We thank you for everyone that works hard to keep it going. And Lord, we just pray that we live a life that would be pleasing to you. And we just ask of you, Lord, to continue to guide us and help us to do our best. And these things we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen. Face the flag for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order of business, approve the minutes. Need a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion to approve.
Got a motion, need a second?
Second.
A second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Saying, hearing no no's, the minutes for June 7th, 2016, public hearing and regular meeting is approved 5-0. Moving number 2, down to department reports. Fire Department, Ricky.
I feel like I'm getting further and further back. Are we moving further and further back? Mayor and Alderman, for the month of June 2016, we had a total of 271 calls. Those consist of 2 structure fires, 24 fire alarms, 2 vehicle fires, 1 grass fire, 3 hazardous materials calls, 27 motor vehicle accidents, 196 medical calls, 2 canceled en route, and 14 miscellaneous calls. Our average response time for the month of June 2016 was 3.3 minutes. And we did fix that water consumption report from last month and added it to this one, and so it brought that total water consumption up for the month of June up to 47,500 gallons. So we did make that adjustment for the 2 water days at the school. I'd like to, if we could at this time, and spoke with Bruce, because as we all know, he's a little under the weather, but he can't seem to not work even when he's not here. So he did text me and give me a little guidance on how to go about doing this. But I would like to ask to suspend the rules if we could possibly. We've got the Chief of Mount Juliet Fire here with us tonight, Jamie Luffman, and he'd like to say just a few words to the council and to the city, if that's possible.
Make a motion to suspend.
Second.
Mr.
You
James?
have a vote on the motion?
Everybody agree to
Aye.
suspend the rules?
Aye.
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 No no's, we're gonna suspend it. Lieutenant, thank you for coming.
Evidently, they've heard me speak before, 'cause you have to suspend rules. Now, being a Southern Baptist Sunday school teacher, and a fella called on to preach every now and then, the fire chief, you'll notice I stand up here with no notes, so get comfortable. No. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Aldermen, city administrators, and executors, I just wanted to come tonight and take just a few moments. I know that time is precious, but I wanted to thank each and every one of you, and especially to Chief McCormick, his staff, and to his department, Laverne Fire Department, for coming to our aid a couple of weeks ago. I'm sure you're aware of the situation we found ourselves in due to mechanical difficulties. I lost half of my fleet in about an hour. When you see $1 million, $2 million worth of fire trucks towed out of your city, I'm not really a drinking man, but that will make you thirsty. And but immediately, to give you an idea of how it all played out and how rapidly it played out, I made phone calls to my partners in Wilson County, Director Cooper at Weeman, let him know of our situation. I also called our partners at Lebanon Fire. They were able to staff a truck to cover us for the evening. But one of the fellows that we have that works on our trucks, Ronnie Rhodes from Cumberland International, he is also the service technician for Chief McCormick and his fine fleet here at Laverne. And unbeknownst to me, he made a phone call, and faster than I could blink, I had Chief McCormick reached out and offered us the use of a reserve ladder truck. And it really went a long way in saving us from, it kept us, allowed us to keep our service level where it's at. Most of my protocols are built around a elevated water delivery system, and we needed that truck. We definitely needed that truck. So if y'all ever come to Mount Juliet, you'll see me do this, and I'll do it without crying. So I'm going to try to do it tonight in Laverne without crying. But it was just our organization, our service, as you know, is a paramilitary service, and it's built around fine spirits of never let a brother down, never leave a brother behind, and certainly brotherhood in its very best definitions. And what Chief McCormick, his staff, and the expediency that the administrators of this fine city showed in short order was moving, to say the very least. And the city of Mount Juliet, as you know, we're a fire department. We're coming up on our 3rd birthday. And I've got some plans for us, some stages that we'd like to reach. First of all, when we started under our origin, we were very dependent upon others, and we were going to work to minimize that dependency. Now we've gotten to a point where we can pretty much stand on our own, and we want to take it to the next level, which is to be able to reciprocate efforts like Chief McCormick and his staff did. So I make you this offer: if the city of Laverne has a need, I hope they'll reach out to the city of Mount Juliet first. But I do appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. I've got a fire department challenge coin for, oh, and by the way, y'all got the truck there faster than the lease agreement. I don't know what that means, but that's got, I mean, y'all beat the politics and the paperwork beat. That was something else. But I do, Ricky, I can't thank you enough from the bottom of my heart. If there's anything I can ever do to I've got some others, and I'm just going to toss them to you because I don't. Permission to approach the bench, Your Honor.
Go ahead. Thank you.
These are challenge coins for the city of Mount Juliet.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
They're good for one free barbecue sandwich.
Yeah, I'll make sure. Who?
Cheryl. Even though they were a little delinquent in the past. Have y'all even got the paperwork yet? You got the truck back? No. Okay. But again, I do appreciate your time, and thank you for this opportunity, and my hat's off to God bless each of you, and God bless the city of Laverne. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief. There was one more part to my report, but I was anxious to get Chief up and let him speak. So we were late in getting our ISO rating in to y'all last week. The official did come in the following day, so go figure. We spent all day on the phone for nothing, but it did. The official copy is now in our hands, but I'd given the paperwork to you. Did you have any questions that anybody wanted to present tonight that we may need to answer for you? And if not, you know, the door's always open, phone's always on, so if you come up with any questions you need answered, we'll be more than happy to try.
Thank you, Ricky.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next will be police. Chief Walker.
Well, Chief just told you why I talk too much. I'm a Southern Baptist boy too, but I learned a long time ago from an old preacher that said, don't say amen to a Baptist preacher. It's like saying sick 'em to a coon dog. The TBI file has not been closed yet for the month of June. Normally they do it about the 5th of each month, but because of the holiday, they didn't get it closed out, so I'll have to pull that information up for you on the offenses. And and email those to you. But I was able to get our calls for service, and rather than talk about a month, I want to talk about the first 6 months of this year. I've explained for at least the last 2 or 3 months that calls for service are up. When you look at those 6 months, they're up 39.3% over the same period in 2015. To give you an example of some of the things going on this afternoon, at the same time, we had 3 threatened suicides going on at the same time. And in less than 3 hours, we had a total of 5. So that's just an example of some of the calls for service that are higher. That is a very busy chart, but it gives you an idea of the calls for service by day of week, depending on the color of the bar, and then at the bottom you'll see the time of day as well. And if you'll go to the last one, that one actually shows you the number of calls for service, and it is 39.3% increase, or 5,324 for the year to date in the first 6 months. Folks are out there working, but we're having some crazy stuff, absolutely crazy stuff. We did do an alcohol sting this weekend. We had, for the most part, the overwhelming majority did what they were supposed to do. They said no. And I'm sure there are some pretty good anecdotal stories from that. Sergeant Eubank can fill you in later if you like, but we had 3 that did, and citations are being issued, and then they'll have to come before the beer board down the road, and that's Mark's Market, which is over here behind Regions Bank, Neighborhood Market 2, which is just this side of the new Walmart location, and then the Lucky 7, which is over near Mapco. It's right next door to Fat Mo's, and folks there have been issued citations for selling to an underage person. Other than that, it's wild and woolly, business as usual, if any of you have any questions.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Moving to Codes Department, Randolph.
Evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Alderman. The report for June is as follows. There were 8 single-family dwelling permits issued in June, 6 commercial permits issued in June. There were 26 miscellaneous permits, 15 sign permits, 5 grading, 11 others to include additions and remodels. Commercial plan review, there were 6. Total number of permits for the month were 71. Plumbing permits were single-family dwelling, there were 9. Commercial, there were 2. Single-family dwelling mechanical permits, there were 10. Commercial, there were 3. Complaints for the month were 136 for tall grass, 68 for junk cars in yards, and 108 miscellaneous other complaints. Building inspections for the month were 240. Inspections year-to-date, that's fire. We'll get to that later. Monthly revenue with impact fees were $32,404.99, and year-to-date totals are $518,654.77. The total number of single-family permits issued year-to-date have been 56. Total number of single-family permits issued during the same time period last year was 20. Total number of all permits this year-to-date are 285. Anyone have any questions?
Thank you, Randolph.
Thank
We're moving
you.
on to Park and Rec, Mr. A.C. Davis.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Alderman. You see our numbers for the month. It's been an extremely busy month for us. We've had a ball tournament every weekend, and then we had an attempt at 4th of July yesterday, and the fireworks were fantastic. I think the show actually keeps getting better every year, but the rain's not cooperating with us. So I'd like to thank Ricky and his guys for helping us out yesterday. It got a little hairy there for a little while when the wind got up, but we were able to keep it under control, and everything turned out okay on that. Got a Parks and Rec Advisory Committee workshop on July 18th. Senior Advisory Committee meeting will be July 21st. And some upcoming events we have, we're gonna, of course, summer camp is still going on for right now. July 7th, since Donna's not here, I figured I'd mention it, is the Great American Duck Race over at the library. We'll do that behind the library. We kind of partner with them on that event, and that's at 10 a.m. July 22nd, we just got this today. We're going to do a Music in the Park, which is a Friday, and Zone Status. We're going to try to get them back out here one more time, and if it rains, then we're moving on. So, but we'll try to get them to come out, and we'll do a Music in the Park. Also, and that's a free event. And of course, August 2nd will be National Night Out, and then August 19th we have a Movies in the Park scheduled, and the movie, as of right now, will be Zootopia. So, a little update on the wall. We're waiting on one more orders of brick, but I'm hoping that we'll get the wall finished with the bricks that people have purchased this week if the weather cooperates. And then we'll start replacing the blank tiles as people purchase more bricks. So hopefully we'll finish it on up and get that part done this week if the weather permits. Any questions?
Question, what you say?
Will you please tell your story?
I will. Couple weeks back, or I guess it's almost a month ago now, Randy, one of our maintenance guy, was actually placing bricks on the wall. And a gentleman came up and was standing there and watching, an older gentleman, and Randy asked him, "Can I help you, sir?" And he said, well, he said, I see my brick on the wall, but I don't see my brother's brick. He said, we went in Vietnam together, and 36 hours after we got there, he was killed in combat. And I just didn't see his brick, and I was wondering where it's at. Well, Randy had it in his hand, and he said, "Sir, would you like to place this brick on the wall next to your brother, you know, next to your brick?" And he said tears started coming down the man's face. He was really happy, but I'm really proud of my guys for even thinking to take that next step and saying, "Hey, let him place his brother's brick on the wall next to his." So, and that's what it's all about. I mean, that's why we're doing this, for the veterans, and, you know, because we can't forget them. We wouldn't be where we're at today without them. So I thought that was a good story.
Good story.
Any other questions?
Thank you, AC. Moving on to finance. Felix?
I think you suspended the rules. Did you ever put that back in place, or is it open for discussion?
Felix?
Good afternoon, Mayor and Alderman. Tonight's report is 11 months into our fiscal year. We have one more month left. Hopefully next month I'll bring you some semi-final numbers, and looks like our fiscal year is going to be pretty good. For the general fund, as of right now, or as of the end of May, the revenues have exceeded expenditures by approximately $1.5 million. Local sales tax, we're up about $1 million as compared to what we budgeted, and we're up about $587,000 as compared to prior year. In state street aid, expenses have exceeded revenues by about $268,000. We have some more revenues to book before the year end. Those have not all come in yet from the state. Stormwater revenues exceeded expenditures by approximately $322,000. And in the water sewer fund, revenues have exceeded expenditures by approximately $908,000. Second page is the balances in our various bank accounts. I want to take a special note to the internal service fund, which is our 511 benefit fund. At the bottom of the page, we have a fund balance of approximately 1.3, almost 1.4 million. That's the highest that has been since I've been here. I've been here almost 9 years. Third page is comparison to prior year. Revenues are down about 8.4 million. Of course, that has to do with the bond issue that we received last year. And expenses are down about 7.5, and that has to do with the purchase of the fire trucks. For water sewer fund, revenues are down about 1.3 million, but you'll see a jump in that at the end of May once we accrue all of the revenues for the rest of the year. Expenses are up about 527,000, and tap fees are up about 498,000. Any questions?
Thank you, Phyllis.
Thank you.
Moving on to library. Anybody going to do a report for Donna? Moving on then to water treatment plant, Thomas.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Aldermen. Way over here too. We have our summary report for May of this year. The conventional plant processed 107 million gallons and delivered 121.7 million. Of that was the savings that we did from our reclaim from our membrane, saving in Metro Sewer fees as we do every month. Rainfall has been a big issue. The lake is still really low. It's almost on the point of saying it's a conservative mode. But it does make it a challenge for us with the treatment, because the quality of the water is just diminishing as it gets older and older and stay in one place in the lake. But our guys are really on top of that. During the month, we actually finished our drought management plan, which was sent to TDEC for approval, which I'll adopted at the other meeting. Our flushing team visited 8 sites in May and flushed out about 216,000 gallons. That's just an annual. What we do is when the water gets warmer, it starts to get a little bit of smell to it sometimes, and the chlorine gets older, so we kind of freshen it up. During the month of May, we had 2 fixed line samples for distribution that were analyzed. Our maintenance for the month was at $4,500, so there's $66,172 left in our contract year on maintenance. Customer service for the month, we had 6 pressure calls, 0 taste and odors. For the second consecutive month, we proclaimed ourselves the best water treatment plant in Laverne. We had no accidents for the month. We just hired our final position. We hired Shane Bessinger, local fella, filling our inspector spot for cross connections. And the bleach project is underway. It's completed, finished up, working well as expected. Got a few little kinks in it, just some of our control parts need some tweaking in it, but it's really a good investment the city made there. That's about all I have.
Any further questions for Thomas? Thank you, Thomas. We're moving on to Public Works Department. Garland?
Good afternoon, Mayor and Alderman. This is for the month of June. We had a total of 95 requests for brush pickup with a total of 777 and 68 loads. That 156,840, the number, that's up over the prior month, but it's actually going to be over 200,000 pounds because what we carried in on Saturday and a Sunday didn't count. They don't weigh that. So, you know, I think we've got a total of 60 hours just on the brush truck itself, overtime. Like I said, we had 626 hours workhouse, 15 and a half hours on call with 30 for overtime. And the fleet department had 56 repairs, 45 in-house, 11 outsourced, 33 oil changes, 17 sets of tires, 3 brakes, and equipment repair, 23, with a total of 14 and a half hours overtime. Any questions?
Question for Garland? Thank you. We'll move on to utility. Michael?
Mayor, Alderman, good afternoon. For the month of June 2016, the water department, we had a total of 87 work orders, 18 new meter sets. We answered 89 Tennessee 1 calls. We did not have a main line break this month. We had 6 service line breaks, roughly 17,000 gallons of water not sold for the month. Valve inspections and repairs were 181. Most of those have been done with the exerciser y'all approved for us to purchase. We thank y'all for that. Fire hydrant inspections and repairs were 87 with a total of 46 and a half hours overtime. On down to the sewer department, we had 110 total work orders, 74 service calls, 36 pump stations, had 3 final grinder pump inspections for the month. Manhole inspections and repairs were 38. Grinder pump rebuilds were 7 for the month with a total of 40 and a half hours overtime. Any questions?
Question for Michael? Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
We'll move on down to Human Resource. Cheryl?
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Alderman. Here is the report for Human Resources. We had 4 jobs posted, external jobs that is, with 214 applicants, 4 actual new hires, 2 internal jobs posted with 8 applicants. There were 3 resignations in June. We had 3 workers' compensation claims, 5 liability claims,
106 Care Here appointments, 1 no-show, 327 lives covered, 7 HRAs conducted, 1 short-term disability claim, and a total claim dollar amount of $244,296. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Cheryl.
Thank you.
That ends our department reports. We do have one presentation. This is an Outstanding Performance Award. I only give them out once every 4 times a year, and let's see who it is this month. Larry Bird, can you come up here? Oh, there you are. City of Laverne Outstanding Performance Award is hereby granted to Larry Bird for your dedication and hard work for the City of Laverne. The city hereby recognizes you with the award and thank you for the excellent work you do for the City of Laverne. Given this day, the 5th day of July, 2016. Thank you for your good hard work.
Thank you, sir.
Larry, did we surprise you?
A little bit.
Excuse me, we're gonna run on to old business. Number 4, second reading ordinance 2016-05. This is an ordinance to amend the 2015-2016 fiscal year general fund budget. We discussed it in the workshop. Need a motion to approve or deny.
Motion to approve.
Got a motion, need a second?
Second.
Got a second? Alderman Broker?
Aye.
Alderman Jones?
Aye.
Alderman Brown?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Green?
Aye.
I say aye. Ordinance 2016-05 passes 5-0. Now to number 5, this is a second reading, ordinance 2016-06, an ordinance to amend the 2015-2016 fiscal year police impact fund budget. This again was spoke about in the workshop. Need a motion to approve or deny.
Make a motion to approve.
A motion to approve, need a second.
Second.
Got a second. Alderman Brown?
Aye.
Alderman Broker?
Aye.
Alderman Jones?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Green?
Aye.
I say aye. Ordinance 2016-06 passes 5-0. We're down to consent agenda. Need a motion to approve or deny.
Motion to approve.
Got a motion to approve, need a second.
Second.
Got a second.
Mayor, I just had clarification. We can have discussion on something real quick. I was approached on the way in here, talked at the workshop on the, letter C, the Captain Coos Memorial. Just want to make clarification that it is going to go on the walkway up from the parking lot heading to the wall. Is that correct?
On the right-hand side, leading from the parking lot off to the, off the walkway. That was what we talked about.
Okay, thank you.
Alderman Jones?
Aye.
Alderman Brown?
Aye.
Alderman Broker?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Green?
Aye.
I say aye. The consent agenda passes 5-0. Down to new business, number 7. First reading ordinance 2016-07, an ordinance to amend the 2015-2016 fiscal year fund budget. We also discussed it in workshop. Need a motion to approve or deny.
Make it.
Motion to approve.
A motion to approve, need a second.
A second.
Alderman Broker?
Aye.
Alderman Jones.
Aye.
Alderman Brown.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Green.
Aye.
I say aye. Ordinance 2016-07 passes 5-0. Number 8, first reading, ordinance 2016-08. This is an ordinance to amend the City of Laverne zoning ordinance by changing the official zoning map for the tax map 14, partial 40, consisting of 9.19 acres located along Sand Hill Road near intersection of Fergus Road. This is from a R2 minimum medium density residential zoning district to a PDR, planned density residential zoning district, with a R2 medium density residential zoning and a C3 neighborhood service commercial zoning. This received a favorable recommendation from the Planning Commission on June 28, 2016. Need a motion to approve or deny?
Make a motion to approve.
A motion to approve. Need a second?
Second.
A second. Alderman Brown.
No.
Alderman Broker.
Aye.
Alderman Jones.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Green.
Aye.
I say aye. Ordinance 2016-08 passes 4-1. It will be a public hearing next month on this item. Moving to number 9, first reading ordinance 2016-09, an ordinance to amend the City of Laverne zoning ordinance by changing the official zoning map of the portion of tax map 17, parcel 5.01 and 2.12, consisting of approximately 4.53 acres located along Walden Road near International Boulevard, from a C2 highway service commercial zoning district to a I2 heavy industrial zoning district. This also received a favorable recommendation from the Planning Commission on June 28, 2016. I need a motion to approve or deny.
Motion to deny.
Got a motion to deny, need a second.
I second.
Got a second, need a roll. We do a roll call. Alderman Jones.
Sir, I got a discussion on it, just so you don't mind.
Okay.
Speaking to a few people since the workshop, again, I'm going to state my reason for denial here, or wanting to be denied. We have worked very hard, try to bring in retail that will basically shut down that section of Walden Road forever, retail, commercial ever coming in. Also, that land there has failed compression tests, and some of the reason that it has not been, say, actively pursued is because of the fill that was put there and the owner not working that land. So, again, I don't say that we, in lieu of this gentleman not having his property ready to sell, we shut down our commercial, we shut down our retail forever on Walden Road. As I said before, I think our retail is going to drive us. We're limited, and we need to keep every option open to us. Whether it has sold now or sold in, it sells in 2 years, 3 years, so on.
Any further discussion? We got a motion and second to deny. Alderman Jones.
No.
Alderman Brown.
Aye.
Alderman Broker.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Green.
Aye.
I say no. It's this ordinance 2016-09 is denied 3-2. Moving to number 10, a resolution 2016-17, a resolution of the City of Laverne Board of Mayor and Aldermen to declare certain property owned by the city to be surplus to the city needs and directing disposal of the same. This was discussed in the workshop. Need a motion to approve or deny this resolution.
Motion to approve.
Got a motion, need a second.
Second.
Got a second. Alderman Broker.
Aye.
Alderman Jones.
Aye.
Alderman Brown,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Green.
Aye.
I say aye. Resolution 2016-17 passes 5-0. Number 11, a motion to approve an encroachment agreement for the above-ground swimming pool to be located in a public utility and drainage easement at 1122 Poplar Hollow Drive. Need a motion to approve or deny.
Motion to approve contingent upon signing the agreement that our attorney has drawn up.
Got a motion made by Alderman Broker with some stipulations. April, can you write, make sure that's recorded?
Yes, I will.
Okay. Got a motion, need a second?
Second.
Got a second? Alderman Brown,
Aye.
Alderman Broker,
Aye.
Alderman Jones,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Green.
Aye.
I say aye. The approachment agreement motion it passes 5-0. Number 12, appoint or remove board committee members. A, Economic Development Advisory Committee, one term expires 6/30/16 by Eric Tudor Bean. He was notified and he wishes to stay, and my knowledge, there's been no one else to apply.
That's what we know, yes.
So we need to decide if we want to put Eric Tudor Bean back on the Economic Development Board. Need a motion to put him back on.
Make
Or-
a motion to approve.
Got a motion to approve. Need a second.
Second.
Alderman Jones,
Aye.
Alderman Brown,
Aye.
Alderman Broker,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Green.
Aye.
I say aye. Mr. Tudor Bean is admitted back on the Economic Development. Number 13, motion to approve renewal of the property and casualty insurance with TML Risk Management Pool. We discussed this also in workshop. Need a motion to approve or deny.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve, need a second.
I second.
A second. Alderman Broker,
Aye.
Alderman Jones,
Aye.
Alderman Brown,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Green.
Aye.
I say aye. The motion to approve the renewal of the property casualty insurance with TML passes 5-0. And we're down to Mayor and Alderman comments. Alderman Broker,
No, sir.
Alderman Jones.
I'd like to say I wish, I would hope everyone enjoyed the festivities yesterday, and glad to see everyone made it through it safely.
Alderman Brown.
I'd like to wish everyone a belated happy 4th and thank our veterans. Really appreciate you. Also, thank you to our fellow community for being willing to help us out. And I'm thankful that we're willing to help other communities out as well. I think that kind of brings to light the volunteerism in Tennessee, and that's what we're known for.
Vice Mayor Green.
No.
Last year, I challenged this board and this city to make this budget better than the budget before, and they have. We have exceeded it by far, and I do think this is a good budget. I think this is a real good budget. We have hired 8 police officers to fill vacant positions. We have hired 6 new police officers. I checked within the 10 years, the city has hired 6 new patrolmen in the last 10 years. We've hired 6 in the process in 2 years. We purchased 10 new police vehicles. We purchased a Motorola Metro upgrade radio system. We hired 15 new part-time firefighters, a Tahoe SUV for the fire department. We hired a new HR specialist. We're hiring a new finance water billing clerk, hiring a new assistant city administrator. We hired a new IT specialist, hired a full-time city recorder assistant, hired a full-time PR specialist, 2 new trucks for the park and rec, 1 truck for the water meter readers, gave 3% for all full-time employees, gave longevity pay. We have lowered the employee turnover, increased the employee 511 benefit fund from $500,000 to over $1.3 million. Increased funding for the Rutherford County EMS and increased funding for the Middle Tennessee TRA. A new backhoe and 2 new snow plows for Public Works, purchasing new equipment for police and fire department. We completed replacing the automatic meter reading for residential water meters, increased funding for the police overtime, LG server, mobile devices, online training, wage rate study. We paved roads at Centennial Drive, Sanders Drive, Carter House Drive, near Schreiben Boulevard at Madison Square, Lexington Drive, and Bill Stewart Boulevard. Rehab wastewater pump stations, completed intersection improvements at Murfreesboro Road and near Schreiben at KFC, complete and fixing to open the road extension at the roundabout to Davis Way, Veterans Wall at City Park, over 20 approved plaques, over 16 major commercial industrial development sites plans submitted, major increase in economic development, over 200 new businesses, creating over 1,200 new jobs, bringing $1 million to the city of Laverne, increase in infrastructure, almost $2 million, lowering the rate increase for water and sewer bills from the previous resolution, and lowering city taxes not 1 year but 2 years in a row. I'd say that's a pretty good schedule. And with that, I'll call this meeting adjourned.